Hey, it's Friday and we're all here. How about that? Except for Sean. Sean's not here.
Good morning, Patriots. Thanks for joining us on Frisky Friday.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Patriots. And
Yeah.
God bless America. And we're happy to wake up in a free country. Isn't it?
Yeah. No kidding.
Absolutely. Absolutely, George. And I see ML Heath is the first to ring the bell in chat saying good morning to everybody.
Wow.
Morning, ML. And Universal's here, Red Ginger, One Citizen D. And
Okay. I'm going to go into prayer. So
Okay.
we're going to go with this is Proverbs 4:20. And it's my son, attend to my words, incline thy ear unto my sayings, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. And what that means basically is faith does not operate in the realm of the possible. There is no glory for God in that which is humanly possible. Faith begins where man's power ends. And to me, that brought home the fact that we all thought Trump wasn't going to make it in. I mean, we thought he would, but we've got the rug pulled underneath us from so many times that faith was a really important thing to have when you're dealing with the deep state and God.
absolutely. Amen.
And
Amen.
Deep State's on suicide watch.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah. And that brings up a funny little trivia thing while we're waiting for more of the Patriots to show up in chat. For those who don't know it, today is officially the Democrat leftist called Boycott Day. You're
Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
boycott the economy. Don't buy anything because they want to crush President Trump's economy.
Mm.
So this is a great time for all us patriots. If you had anything you needed to buy, you were looking at getting a new couch or something like that, go
Yeah.
down to your local store, make the big purchase today.
Yeah.
Uh, shut those idiots down.
Isn't it amazing that Congress passed the bill for no taxes on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime, and not one a short.
Good
We all
morning.
chipping in and buying an alarm clock. Anyway,
No, my computer does these freaking resets. It's
I know.
unbelievable. I was gonna go on my phone actually in the time being, but anyway.
so not one Democrat signed that bill.
Yeah, and we got to remember
Amazing
that
thing
when,
for the
when the
people.
midterms come.
Yep. So I hope everybody remembers we got to keep the House and the Senate. So we got to bring that up all the time. And anyway, but what do you do?
And did you mention Social Security in there?
Yep. Yes, I did.
Oh,
That's the big
I
one,
missed that
Sean.
part. Yeah.
That's the big one.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta. It's amazing what President Trump is doing with all the stuff that he had with the cabinet meeting. That was good especially when they brought up about Afghanistan. When he tilted over to Pete about firing the generals and the ones that were in charge. So they're doing a big investigation with that, like from the top down of what's going to go, what's happening. When they brought up General Raising Cane, which that's one of the amazing stories that he always says all the time. So
Yeah, and he replaced that CQ Brown as the
yeah, that
Joint
was big.
Chiefs chairman, and apparently that woke loser General Mattis and Lloyd Austin, along with three other previous Joint Chiefs chairmen, have come out in protest and demanding that the Senate refuse to approve General Kane, because they're just saying that it was just not right to have fired the woke General Brown. So
Yeah.
they just can't, they just don't get it. They just don't get what the American people want. But
What's amazing is what's going to happen, and this is what I believe that once they retire from, especially when you're a general, when you retire, you sign a form that says that they're allowed to call you back within 10 years. So President Trump, he's going to do that. What's his name? The wonderful uh, one that had the lipstick on, the general
oh,
that, and
General
they're going
Lipstick.
to all be called back. They're going to all be called back. Millie, General Milley. He's
General
going to be
Milley.
called back, and his rank is going to be broken down to big cut in pay also. So that's very interesting on that stuff.
Well, while you're talking about that, can I bring up that clip about veteran suicide
Yep.
since we're talking about the military?
Yeah, and I'll elaborate on that too.
I want to talk about a problem that we have on the national level. Over the past 20 years, approximately 150,000 U.S. veterans have committed suicide. And that number shows that annually, about 6 to 6.5 thousand veterans take their lives due to suicide rates. If we look at the year 2021, we're looking at 33.9 per 100,000 veterans are taking their lives. And unfortunately, one of the reasons behind this is access to care in mental health through the Veterans Administration. We need to do better as a nation.
He's 100% correct. The number increased a lot to 45 a day. Veterans are committing suicide, especially what happened after Afghanistan, the pullout that was done by the Biden administration. And the Biden administration cut back so much. That's when he said 2021. The Biden administration cut back so much on veterans' opportunity to have psychiatric care, which that's what they need instead of medication.
Yeah.
But, and that was stopped in when Trump got elected in 2017, when he went after the VAs and he started firing people because they went to drug sales, because they would not only give the drugs to the veterans, but they would increase the prescription so they could turn around and sell the drugs to make money. So that was stopped by President Trump. And then as soon as the Biden administration came in, they decided to cut back. And it's amazing how the Democrats keep on saying that the programs that President Trump are cutting back, the Doge that's going on, that it's going to affect the veterans. It is going to affect the veterans, but to the better, because for the simple reason is all the crap that's in there that's preventing them. I mean, you go to a VA hospital. Sometimes I go visit them, or I take somebody there, and the waiting was 6-8 months ago. The waiting was unbelievable.
Well, you know what a lot of the problem is? I'm going to tell you. Why they have a problem with doctors and why they shuffle them out and everything is because most of the ones that they use are the ones that are paying off their student debt. Right. And so they're forced to work at the VA or in a rural area. You end up picking what you want to do when you sign up to do that. So you're paying off basically a debt to your country because they're paying off part of your student debt. And a lot of those med students choose to go into VA. And that's why you see the turnover. Like they only have a 2-year obligation to stay in one spot. Right. So once their 2-year obligation is done, they're gone. And the other part of that too is the chronic pain issue, because a lot of them come back with chronic pain big time because of injuries and stuff. And the Biden administration did it. Obama did it. And Trump is a little bit guilty of it too, that they haven't loosened up opioid restrictions legally for people. So if you're a vet and you've got chronic pain, some doctors, I'm not kidding, are making you make an office visit once a week to pick up your paper prescription, or they email it to your pharmacy. They will only give you 1 week at a time. Some will do 1 month at a time, but legally that's the most that they're able to go out forward with that prescription. So you have a lot of them that end up turning on the streets to getting their opioids. And so then you get the fentanyl in that too. So you're getting deaths from that also. Right, but they sometimes they count those into the suicides. If somebody took an opioid overdose and it was a fentanyl poisoning, they'll count that as a veteran suicide. And I understand why they're doing it, because it is related to that. It's all related to service injuries or traumatization or PTSD. But what you're saying about the mental health, yes, they don't do heavy psychiatric care for these people at all. Their motto is basically throw pills at them. Yeah, you can't do that, because that's not taking care of the original problem. All you're doing is masking symptoms. And when you're doing that, that's what causes the tragedies, because these people are feeling like they're not heard. They're put off to the shelf. They go across, go overseas to do stuff for our country, come here, and they're shoved in a closet. I mean, that's my opinion on it. Nobody listens to them. And now Trump is in. Maybe Trump will do something, but with RFK, if he can get into the VA and change some of that and get actual good psychiatric doctors in there, that suicide rate would drop. And I'm hoping like hell that's what he's doing. But they have to give the opioids out. They have to change that schedule, because some people are not going to be able to function without it. Because
I agree with you. They had a program at a VA hospital. This was during when Trump was president, and this psychiatrist, what they did is they actually built like an almost like a Humvee, and they would put you in the Humvee and wire you up to see your reaction, how you would respond, to see your reaction with the PTSD. In fact, I went into one of them, and what happens is when they would actually do an explosion under the vehicle that was like the Humvee, like they have in war, and see what your reaction is and how would you respond and how much it triggered you with your PTSD, and they stopped that. Biden, they stopped that whole thing. It was an amazing thing to figure out what you could talk to a psychiatrist and tell you your problem. Like I told Tracy that we had a meeting with J6s last night with a bunch of people to do. We're going to create a coalition to get money together for them, but they not only have the PTSD from when they were serving, but now they have the PTSD about what they suffered in jail when they were in the gulag and stuff, and how they were treated. And one of the guys last night that we were speaking to, he said when he came out and when he went into his house, because he was confined into a cell, when he went into his house, he felt there's too much clutter. He couldn't take it. He had to sit outside until it was time for bed. He couldn't take all the stuff there. Even when he went into a restaurant to go, with his wife, because they both served. They were in different cells, but they both did, husband and wife. And what happened is there was another thing that was brought up about the daughter that had with the children that they came to the house to take the kids away because of all the stuff that was going on with the J6 and stuff and everything else like that. It's just they can't get a job. They can't get a job because of everybody thinks because they got pardoned everything is over. It's not. The problem is that the things are still on their records of who they are, and they can't even fly. So, and it's hard for them to get a job. So we're going to start a coalition with 2 other organizations to raise money for them and actually give them the money personally, instead of like some organizations, by the time they get the money to them, doesn't happen. And, if people want to donate cars, we're going to do the whole system like everybody else does to help these J6s, because people don't understand what they're actually going through. So.
Well, I wanted to make one more quick point. We were talking because everybody started up in the chat about opioids dying from opioid use, but there's a new opioid-like medication right now that's in trial, and it's real close to coming out, and it doesn't carry the addiction issues like a regular opioid would. So if that's a real good thing coming out, and with RFK, they'll probably speed up the process on that. And that should help a lot of veterans out, because then they won't have the addiction issues like they would with the opioids. But it works just as well, but without the addiction issue. So I
carry that thing in my bike with for the fentanyl if they get hit with it. I have it in my bike.
Narcan? Yeah.
Yep.
The Narcan?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. Yep.
I don't have any. We have a lot of that around here at the gas stations, people getting the fentanyl and like passing out and stuff. But that was like 2 years ago, and it seems to have slowed down. But that fentanyl stuff is really bad.
Now that with the cartel, they turned over a whole bunch of cartel from Mexico.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So now the only thing that gets me about that one is because it's in New York. Of all places to bring them, into New York to charge him and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
that
that's ridiculous.
that gets me. That's the best one. And I got last night. I got a fax of the Epstein list. I want to show everybody. There's a lot of Adams on here, but yeah, that's what. That's
Yeah,
what,
they released the details of the Epstein files, and George was the
Well-
first to get them.
so what the thing is with the Epstein files, they're doctored, and the ones that they're protecting are there were actually children on that list that went on the flight pattern with going to Epstein's Island. So they want to protect the kids' names and stuff. So, but that's phase one that happened. I mean, at least they, he came out with the promise, promise made, promise kept about that Epstein list
But-
coming out, and Pam Bondi is, warned them that, there's another phase that's coming. So everybody has to be patient and wait. Everybody's ready to jump on.
Yeah,
Well,
But George, frankly,
I saw
I'm-
a name on the list, and it was Sean Lucas, and I was so surprised that I had to go to the bathroom. I couldn't believe it. I
Him off,
am
Trixie.
really shocked at you, Sean, that you were on that list.
I can't
You
believe
better- you better
they
kick him out
dined me
now.
out. Right? I can't believe they dined me out. So what a
I
what a
know.
what a flop that whole thing was, wasn't it? Like, we
Yeah.
thought it was going to be big, but now we find out there was a bunch of stuff that the SDNY, right, or Southern District of New York, I should say, had all
the FBI office, the field
Yeah.
office,
that-
FBI
yeah,
field
Comey's
office in
daughter.
New York.
Is
Yeah,
SDN,
Comey's daughter's working there, so they have a bunch of stuff that was supposed to be delivered by 8 a.m. this morning, which probably gave them extra time to get rid of stuff, right? I mean, it's I don't know. We're gonna know about everything on this with this guy. I doubt it. I think there's been so much stuff destroyed, just like I think there's stuff destroyed with all these different things that have been going on. The Trump assassination attempt. I think there's been stuff destroyed with that guy.
Oh, there's and George, as long as you first, if I can go back to the whole Epstein thing, I'm actually kind of disappointed in Pam Bundy for that, or Bondi for that release yesterday, because as I understand, there was nothing, and I mean nothing new in that release. Everything she released was already out there. Now, I don't think that's Pam doing it. I think what it is the Justice Department, especially since Obama overhauled everything and just packed it full of a bunch of leftist operatives. I think, just because she came in and she's officially the attorney general, that doesn't mean everybody in the Justice Department is pulling on the same side of the rope.
No,
So,
no.
I think she's getting stonewalled herself, and she, and she came out with what she thought she had, but she's not getting what she needs from her own people, in my opinion. I don't have any proof of that.
No,
but,
yeah, 100%. There's all leftovers. There's still. Don't forget, there's still people there from the Biden administration. And they're being told what to do because they know they're going to be wiped out anyway. So all these things that they're trying to eliminate is fine, but whoever's left over and all this if they hit these files, what they're doing and everything else, they're going to be prosecuted. Don't think they're not going to find out who these people are, which they will. And they do not have an example. These morons that are helping them, that what it's like to be in jail and what's going to happen. And most likely a lot of them, because of the treasonous stuff that they're doing, they're going to send them to Gitmo. And they're going to have a tribunal trial. It's going to be exciting. Very exciting.
I sure hope so, George.
Yeah.
I want
certainly
pay-per-view
do.
perp walks. I'd pay $20 to watch a bunch of them.
I volunteered for the firing squad. I go down there.
But I have
that-
since Sean, I think you brought up something about, or maybe you didn't, but I'll say this anyway. The assassination attempt in Butler on President Trump. I don't know if anybody's seen the very latest. I mean, literally latest breaking news. Well, it actually, of all places, came out from the New York Post. I think just broke an article where they're saying that Thomas Cooks may have had an accomplice. FBI stonewalling
Yes.
things.
Yep.
And possible FBI involvement. But here's the really big stuff: is there's some outside investigators. Everybody understands what geofencing is, where they can see where your telephone has gone.
Yep.
Well, now they're saying, and I'll read directly from the article, that geofencing data analysis shows that phones that regularly visited Cook's home and workplace were also found to have been visiting locations in Washington, D.C., near the headquarters of the Secret Service and FBI headquarters. And this is geofencing data. So, I mean,
Yeah.
this
Tony
isn't
Segura did
speculation,
that.
you know.
Tony
Um,
Segura, I think.
Well, they
yeah.
did. They
Well,
did. That's what
unfortunately,
they found out about the election.
New York Post is claiming this as exclusive breaking news on their own. But at least it's coming out in these more
Yeah.
mainstream things, and it clearly that little punk was not operating alone. And honestly, I don't think that even the bullet that hit President Trump's ear, that didn't come from him. That came from a professional sniper, probably working for the FBI or the CIA. But again, that's my speculation.
You never know. You never know. I mean, it's there was talk about somebody being up on that water tower that was there. Remember early talk about that?
Yeah, they showed that. Yeah.
All right. I mean, they you've seen images that look like there could have been someone, and there was images that didn't look like there was anyone. So,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows?
And there's also the facts, as they're saying, where you had police snipers on the second story of the AGR building who watched him climb up on the roof, who watched him line up his gun, and you had for over 45 seconds people on the ground watching the whole thing, screaming at the cops that were 20 feet away, "Hey, this guy's got a gun. He's up
Yeah.
on the roof." And I mean, 45 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot,
Yeah.
when you think about it. And something going on like that, 45 seconds is like an eternity.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot more to come out on that.
What
And I
about
think
what
with
about
Cash Patel there, it's going to come out.
Yeah, well, what about the kid? Was in a BlackRock commercial, and also the building that he was on was owned by BlackRock. So, so there's
That's an inside job.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be a lot of money. There's a lot of what Trump is. They're terrified of Trump and part of the New World Order and the deep state and the establishment that he's going to be fighting, and that's why he's moving so fast as he's moving, because he doesn't want them to get a handle on anything. You know what I'm saying? Before he does what he does.
Mhm.
Sounds
So
like
Yeah.
sounds like we're close to ending this Ukraine war.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. I think we're probably hearing an announcement maybe this weekend about that. Right. Zelensky's in D.C. today.
Mm.
That's another thing this whole world stuff
What-
doesn't like.
They
Right?
what-
spanked his dupa.
Yeah. What he called Trump. Trump is playing the greatest chess game in the world, because now what happens? He's got to pay back the money that he got from us and the mineral stuff that's in his country. So now we have interest. Now he's going to tell Putin, "Look, we have interest in that country."
Yep.
So it's like we're protecting them, but we're not protecting them. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is it's a great, besides a business move, the intelligence that Trump has about working this thing out like that, it's unbelievable, because what he did, he planned it that, okay, let's see what you got in your country, which is they're full of minerals and stuff and everything else. So we'll make the exchange to get our money back. So now we have interest in that country. So we're going to have to protect our interest, which that would be identified to Putin, which Putin would understand. Yo, you beat me at a deal that's pretty good. So he'll and Putin will back up, because he lost a lot of people in this war. Like, I mean, he took a beating when they were in Afghanistan too, Russia. So he doesn't want that. That's another thing, another mark on him. So he doesn't want to do. He's going to agree to with President Trump, right? And the whole deal is going to be done. So, but Zelensky's the one. Yeah, Zelensky. I mean, he stopped elections and stuff like that. I mean, the guy's a little tyrant. I mean, he deserves a smack in the face. That's right.
But also this whole move is a chess game with Trump, because with the mineral rights, right? China would probably be right in there for him, right? So this is again a move against China, I think, as well.
Yeah, because they're very close. They're not that far.
Yeah.
They're on the border. Yep. But so it's a great move. And again, the fake news media won't understand that. I mean, they're constantly. I mean, besides them losing the audience that they got, we all feel sorry for Joyce Reid there. We're so joyous about her.
Happy, happy, joy, joy. Bye, bye.
I send you
Joy.
did I send you the? Wasn't there a picture going around of Dennis Rodman as Joy Reid?
Yeah. That was funny.
I didn't see that.
Oh, wait. Is that what that was? I thought it was Joy Reid as Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, well, it could be. Yeah, it could be. You know, she's got to do something now. She's got some time. Her and a couple of the other ones out there, right? Mophead was out yesterday.
Don Lemon and Joy Reid, fruit and nuts.
Hey, as long as we're having fun, and I sent Trixie the link to the Truth Social thing, but one thing I just got to love about our President Trump, he got so screwed the first time by so many people, and now since this is going to be his last term, and he knows it. Well, we'll see, but this is his last term, and he knows it. He's not afraid of anything, and we all know. He is the ultimate, 100% ultimate troll in the world, as evidenced by, and I hope everybody's seen this. I don't think Trixie can put it up for us, but if you haven't seen the Trump Gaza video,
Oh yeah,
he posted that AI generated video that literally has the golden statue of Trump. Well, first of all, just a beautiful paradise of casinos and beaches and a thriving economy, and then you see it pan up to this big, beautiful hotel with gold on it and everything, and it says Trump Gaza, and then you got the little kid with the balloon of Trump's head and all this, but the ultimate troll is at the end. It pans out on the beach, and you see President Trump sitting on a beach chair with a drink in his hand, and as it comes out, you see Bibi Netanyahu on the chair right beside him. They're both wearing blue Speedos.
Yeah.
And I mean that is the ultimate troll. And Trixie, I don't know if you were able to take any screenshots of that or anything.
No, I needed it. I needed to be able to download it.
Yeah.
But
I'll
edit it
and
only President Trump could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to see something else here too. Look at that.
Fort Knox.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do about that.
That's why the egg prices went up, because they knew he was going to look for the gold, so they figured they wanted to swap something of value into the empty shelves.
He destroyed Biden destroyed 165 million chickens.
Yeah.
Last part was 100 million, but before that he did 65 million. But it's amazing. They're worried about the bird flu, and it's okay for seagulls, eagles, and ducks and everything else. That's okay. I thought they were the same thing as birds, but for some reason.
Well, yeah, but the chickens are only dying in the United States.
Yeah.
They're not dying in Mexico or Canada or
yeah. Well,
else.
they were saying that people are getting their own chickens. There's a guy that was advertising that you could actually rent the coop and the chicken per month, and they'll set it up at your house.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good money
Actually,
maker.
I'm fortunate. We don't pay. Well, actually, we do. We pay a token. We pay $1.50 a carton for eggs to my nephew who's got a bunch of chickens. But we have everybody around here where I live.
Oh, Mark,
the people got chickens, so eggs are pretty much free here. You
can start a new business. You can ship them out.
Yeah,
these eggs, right? Go and ship them
out.
Yeah,
if you don't freeze
that Fort Knox picture that Trixie put up there, I actually sent her that. That's my barn.
Yeah. Better watch out. You're gonna get robbed. Everybody's gonna come.
That's why I'm broadcasting from a secret, undisclosed, secure location somewhere in
a friend of mine's got
Michigan.
A friend of mine has like 4 or 5 chickens. I think they lay an egg a day. He says, "Is that what they do? An egg a day?"
A few of them.
Sometimes they'll lay as many as 3, as I understand.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
If you're feeding them right and you keep the coop warm enough.
3 eggs a day. I feel sorry for the chickens.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt.
I don't know how they do it. Chickens. Seriously, I don't know how they do it.
People don't know that when the chicken lays the egg, it comes out of the same place where they poop from.
Well, yeah.
and then they gotta
we eat it for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little interesting kind of trivia about eggs that you may or may not know. is the United States of America is the only country in the world, or at least the only major country, where we're required to refrigerate our eggs by the
Yep.
FDA.
Yep.
Every other country, when I was over in Poland last year, you go into these big stores and their eggs are just, they got these cartons of eggs just stacked, floor to ceiling. And apparently, when a chicken lays an egg, there's a certain slime
Oh,
or
yeah.
membrane around it
Yep.
that makes it so if you don't wash the egg, um, they stay good forever. Not forever, but literally in room temperature, they can last for months and months and months. But as soon as you wash them, they got to be refrigerated. And in their infinite wisdom, our FDA requires that all the eggs be washed. So therefore, we have to refrigerate these things from through transit, to the store to when you get them home, where everybody else just leaves their eggs out. And they
Are you
wash them
laughing at Love's?
just
Are
the
you
minute
laughing at
before
Love's
you go ahead
comment
and break them.
in the chat, Tricks?
What?
Were you laughing at Love's comment in the chat?
No, I didn't see it. I was starting to think about the cone heads and the fried chicken embryos
Oh,
in the
okay.
morning.
I just
I
want
thought
to
she
say,
was laughing at
I just
me.
want to say, Loves. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know that question.
I didn't see what Love's posted. When you start talking about the eggs, I started thinking of Saturday Night Live, and then the cone heads came up, and then the fried chicken embryos, and then that's why I started laughing.
I figured I was just going too far talking about the slime on the outside of the eggs. That's
You said slime. I thought you were talking
it's
about.
Frisky Friday, man. There's
Yeah,
no
but no,
holds
it's-
barred.
When you said
Cool,
slime,
huh?
I thought we were talking about people in Washington again. I thought we went back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Washington stuff.
Twat waffles. That's what they are in Washington.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, USN
anyway.
wants to know who came first, the chicken or the egg. We don't know, do we?
Well,
Does
Biden,
anybody know what one came first?
Biden became before the chickens because he killed all the chickens. So I think
Yeah.
Biden came first.
Well, I'm going to go with egg because I know they found dinosaur eggs. A petrified dinosaur egg. So I'm going with the egg. And interestingly, more trivia, chicken trivia. Maybe we should just have a chicken trivia show one day. But more chicken trivia. Do you know that a chicken is a direct descendant from the dinosaurs, and it's the only
Yeah.
living descendant from dinosaurs?
Birds are.
Yeah.
They're starting to
Yep.
think that
But
dinosaurs
specifically
have feathers
chickens.
now. Yeah.
Chickens are like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with feathers instead of scales.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
cranes.
that's-
The crane. Yeah, the cranes. We got cranes here. The cranes.
Maybe that's
when
how
they
we got
fly
to
in the
dance
air,
at the
look
end
like
this
the same
time.
thing as a cracker. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just in a goofy mood today. But yeah, I
Okay.
always think of those
We
T
quit having
Rexes.
so much fun, Trixie.
Yeah.
Trixie's having
Yeah,
too much fun.
Pull my hair.
This is supposed to be
the
a
joke you're
serious
talking about?
news broadcast.
I'm never serious. Get out of here. I can be what I have to be, but I don't like it. I like being funny. It's more fun to be goofy.
Yeah,
you get,
it is.
it
What's
is.
the,
I don't
what's
like
the old
taking
joke
anything
though?
serious.
What's the old joke though about what came first, chicken or the eggs? 9 out of 10 guys say, "Who cares?"
Yep.
Oh my god. Frisky Friday. I forgot to throw that in.
Oh, if I told you some of the jokes that I know, I think we'd be off the air. My dad used to say some real
Hey,
good ones.
I do have a interesting kind of follow up to the whole Fort Knox thing, though. I was listening to a really good interview with Howard Lutnick, who is the
Smart guy.
the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, and he was also the chairman of President Trump's transition committee, at least as far as finance is concerned. And he was talking about Fort Knox. And he said he believes absolutely they're going to go open it up. The gold's all going to be there. Physical gold sitting right there. The question, though, that he said, and it's a really good point, is that people don't realize that we lease that gold too. That gold may be actually obligated to other people, countries, and places, even though it's physically there. It may not really be ours. And he
Saudi
brought up, and
Arabia,
I didn't realize, just like in your bank, your bank is only required to keep between about 2 and 10% cash for what they loan out. So when you go down and take out a home loan, that money's not really even theirs. I mean, because you take out a loan, you give it to the person you bought the house from, and then they deposit it in the bank. But so they only hold about 10%. And Howard Lutnick brought up the point that in the whole entire world, Most gold is on paper, and for every ounce of gold that physically exists, there's 100 ounces of paper gold being bought and sold and traded around. So if there's ever a huge run on this, the gold ain't there. That's why right
Mhm.
now the Bank of London is not able to ship the physical gold that people are saying, okay, I want my gold. And as I understand, they're like a month or two behind. They're like 20 tons of gold behind on their shipment of physical gold to satisfy contracts. So just another little interesting
That's
part of the
interesting.
world of what's going on. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when they go pop Fort Knox open and take a look.
It's interesting. It's
Well, I hope they
interesting.
have Geraldo do it.
Yeah.
That
No,
would be
it'll be
yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
That might be great. Have Geraldo go do it.
That loser. Hey, that guy's such an idiot.
But yes,
What a nut he turned out.
Yeah.
He's great.
he's in his what is he in his 80s, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember when he got
Yeah,
the chair
yeah,
to
but
the face
he's
from
still
Jerry
just
Springer?
mad. Like remember he wanted to punch out Tyrus on
And
Grant
Dan
Gutfield's
Bongino.
show or whatever.
Yeah, Dan
Oh, Dan
Bongino. He went up
Bongino.
and
Oh
called him a
man,
punk.
Him and Gutfeld got into it too on the 5, and that's when Geraldo finally left.
yeah,
Yeah.
but George is right. I forgot it was Dan Bongino. This like 78-year-old pipsqueak moron actually wanted to act like, hey, Bongino, yeah, come on, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know,
I
it's like,
replied to one of Geraldo's tweets one time, or X post now, and I said something like "You're a moron," and I didn't put the apostrophe RE in because I was driving when I did it or whatever. I was somewhere, and which I shouldn't have been doing that. But anyway, long story short, he replies back, "You're" with the apostrophe RE. I'm like, yeah, I know. Now you're giving me a spelling Geraldo.
yeah, English teacher.
Yeah.
Well, today the events today that's going to happen. There's supposed to be more action going on into the White House today. So I think Britain came there. I mean, with their tails between their legs. No, the guy's a socialist communist, and you can't.
And JD Vance questioned them, right? Did you see
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
good.
Good
Yeah,
for
that's what I'm
JD.
saying. You know, there's a
But-
lot of stuff we talk about on here that you can't. A lot of times, if you say on Facebook, it's get what do you call it? Blocked or whatever, shadow banned.
Yeah.
Zelensky in the United States
But-
yet? I know he's going to the White House today,
Yeah,
right?
he's coming today. Yep.
They
Yes,
called him.
Yep.
They called him right out.
Zelensky, yep.
Has he
They called him right
arrived
out.
in the United
Hey.
States yet? Do we know?
Well, the best one is when the guy
I
from
believe
England came
so.
out.
I believe so, Sean.
He's here. He's here. Trust me. He's got his $35 million house in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get an invite there, George?
No,
To
but
Zelensky's-
we were gonna ride around and
Zelensky's Mar-a-Lago?
yeah. We-
I think my next time by, I'll have to go check it out, see what it looks like. 35 million gets a nice,
yeah, it's pretty far
nice
back.
house down there.
Yeah, it's pretty far back. You gotta get the helicopter, fly
Got to
around.
be on the water or something, I would think.
Yeah, it's there,
Hey, but-
yeah, I guess.
You want to take
Speaking
a,
of the
I'm sorry. I was going to say, do you want to cut from news for just like 2 minutes and tell who won yesterday
Yeah, that's good.
before we get to the end of the hour? Because we got another 20 minutes, but then once we get yakking again, we might forget. But the question yesterday. Oh, here we go.
Augie's going to announce the winner.
Yes.
Squirrel.
Keep talking.
The
I got to
squirrel
go
one.
put the dog
The
up.
squirrel one.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll just throw out what I was about to real quick. In relation to both England or the UK and also the Doge stuff that's going on. This is so telling. You think about this with U.S. Americans taxpayers' money. I just read something that said the largest LGBTQ advocacy nonprofit in Britain just had to lay off half of their staff in response to Doge cuts. So, in other words, our hard-earned cash that the government takes from us, at the point of a bayonet, was being sent to support a nonprofit in Britain that advocates for LGBTQ, X, Y, and Z
Yeah,
plus
the alphabet. I
rights.
call them the alphabet people.
Yeah. I mean, think of the insult to that, though, that we're $38 trillion in debt. And our government was taking money out of your paycheck and mine through taxes. And for some reason, we're the biggest funder of this nonprofit LGBTQ blah 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 thing
What
in
about
England.
no, what about
They can't raise their own money.
Planned Parenthood? The same thing with that. We give millions of dollars too, and
Oh, man.
we route the money to the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And plus,
Yeah.
they do the same thing overseas too with the stuff. It's just, uh,
I think a lot goes into Act Blue. I really do. I
Yeah,
won't argue
yeah.
that.
Well,
I
exactly.
think a
does.
lot of it flows into that.
Like who thinks like, oh, let me go send $1 million, $1 billion, whatever it is, it doesn't matter the amount, to XYZ over there. That's so stupid, like what Mark just said. Who thinks about that unless it's for some type of other nefarious reason, right? Some money coming back to an organization, whether it's Act Blue or whether it's another politician type of their campaign. But you don't think about that stuff unless it's to really to swipe money back. I think it's really a big money laundering scheme.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Act Blue is just nothing but a money laundering scheme.
Mhm.
There's no question about it.
Well, yeah, you could go to anytime you look at their fundraising things, it'll go to one site, and then as you click, it ends up into Act Blue. But I think that's like Stacey Abrams having that 20 billion and then actual gold bars too.
Well, plus
mean,
they've
come
tracked
on.
down so many people. They find these people that have given to Act Blue like 4,000 times in the last 2 years, and then
Yeah,
they go
that's
interview them
impossible.
and said, "No, I gave to them once or maybe
Yeah.
3 times." It's like,
Mhm.
well, this has you giving it to them 30, or 22 times a month. And even, and these are Democrats, but they're like, I didn't do that. I don't have that kind of money.
I remember they went to
So
some old lady's house and knocked on her door and asked her, and they said that she had made all those donations, and she was like, "No,
Yeah.
I never donated to them ever." But yeah,
I remember
that's
that.
what
That was James
I'm
O'Keefe,
curious.
wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't that James O'Keefe that did that?
I
Yeah.
think
Yep.
so.
Yep,
I
yep.
think so.
That's the one he found out all the people that would get donated money using their name and
Yes.
their social security number to make the
Mhm.
donation, so they get
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of grift and fraud. I hope Doge gets a lot of it, but I don't think they're ever
Yeah.
going to be able to find all of it. But there's so many that need to go to
even
jail
most
over
helps.
this.
How about the video from General Flynn about Warren and Comey? He better get a lot of lawyers and stuff because they're gonna come after
Our
him.
lawyer up. Yeah.
Well,
That's
that
great.
was that search term in DC, wasn't it? Was it last week? They said criminal defense lawyers was the most searched term on Google and everything in DC.
Yep.
Everybody's lawyering up. You figure those RICO charges, all you got to do is take a little bit of money from one person, even if you're not involved, but they gave you RICO money, you're involved. It scoops everybody, So I think that's how they're going to go. It's just my opinion, but that's how I would go. I think you could get more people with the RICO than they could on treason. Treason's going to be hard for some of them to.
Yeah.
I hope they get them all and justice finds them all.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Trixie, just before you go to the contest stuff, I just want to give a shout out to FL4 Trump and agree wholeheartedly with something he said on your show yesterday, that hitting the like button will actually make you better looking and
Yeah.
smarter. Just saying.
Look what I did to George.
I hear it
George
also
now.
fights plaque better than the leading toothpaste.
I think the chef that Ed had on N2 last night hit the like button a lot because the girls were going crazy in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said Tony Schaefer who? I Candy who?
Yeah, Candy took a side seat yesterday
Yeah,
after the chef came on.
Maybe we'll have to get the chef on for Frisky Fridays. Come on one Frisky Friday with us. He could do like a
Show us how he can
cookout.
cook.
Yeah,
He can
do a
cook.
cookout.
Oh, you missed that one that was funny last night. Everybody kind of went, "Whoa!" That got everybody's attention last night.
Hey, and Deb54TX is pointing out, and thank you, Deb. She's pointing out that we actually get more likes than Tony does. Don't tell Tony.
Well, yeah, if everybody if everybody hits the thumbs up button, this will go further up in the feed too. So then you don't have to look for it so much. We'll get more traction if it goes up higher.
Yeah, hit that like button. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a minute. It takes a second.
Doesn't do it for me.
Hey, before I forget, this is what Aunt Jane won. Look.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh, wow, that's a good one.
Yeah,
He's
Jane
not
won
letting
that.
us, is he?
I finally got her address. I'm going to ship it out today. Plus,
And my statue approves.
Well, you can hear my dog. My dog doesn't approve. He's back there. He's not happy.
He approves of the squirrel.
The squirrel that lives around here knows my dog, and he comes in, but right next to the window and goes like this on the window and that kind of stuff because he knows the dog can't get through the glass. So this goes on all day long. Yeah, it'll sit on the rail and take its tail and do this.
Give my way. I'm running them over.
You gotta get a video of that. We gotta show that.
I like squirrels.
You gotta get a video of that. We gotta show that. That'll be kind of funny.
I should. I got one where the dog is sitting right by the window, and you can see the squirrels looking at him. But they play hide and seek too. If he's outside, the squirrel will come around the side of the tree, and Augie will go this way, and then he goes around the other side, and they go back and forth because the squirrel knows Aug can't get off his lead. He can only get so far, so he stays right outside of where he can get him. But it's my own fault because I started feeding the squirrels here, so they're not real.
Oh.
They're not real wild. You know what I mean? I can go outside and they'll stay in the grass when I'm outside and stuff.
Hey, you got to give Augie a little chance, and when the squirrel's not looking, just go out there and lengthen his chain by about 5 feet.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that. I like squirrels too much. But we're gonna go to the contest.
So does Augie. He says they taste like chicken.
Augie, that's because Augie's part dash
And
hound, so the barking never stops.
Don't forget to put Angie's Angel's thing on the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'll put that up. For the contest, the question was who was the main? Wait a minute, where am I? I can't talk and do this at the same time. Hang on.
Blonde.
Who is the primary writer of the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
Primary author, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
I'm sorry,
primary author of the
Constitution.
Declaration of Independence.
Yep.
And the first person that said it, the answer was James Madison. And the first one that said it was Red Ginger. But Red Ginger said it. And then Mankay said it. And there was somebody else as it goes down. Oh, and DTAF got Madison too. But Red was the first one. So this is what you want, Red. You're going to get Trump money sent to you. So just don't spend it.
So congratulations, Red Ginger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got next Thursday. We got another one for something else. I got something.
And this down here on the bottom, that's for Angel yesterday. That was on the show. That's her website. And then the Give, Send, Go is if you wanted to donate. And then she has her whole story on there too.
To bring something back up about Angel yesterday, I thought, and I mentioned to George, I think yesterday after we talked, I was thinking about how people she went to her husband went to different places, right? Different.
Yeah, they call it dieseling.
Dieseling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then she was saying about how these people were sending the postcards, right, to her or to her husband and all.
Yeah,
somebody on the inside, right, of the prison, or one of these Democrats on the committee must have been leaking stuff out to some type of Antifa group or something like that. Because how would you even know that prisoner over there married to this? I mean,
yeah, they do it. They do a doxing on it, and they get all the information. You pay those sites that are on the internet that give them $5 and you get the whole background of. That's all they put the name, but I saw some of those cards. I like to go to the other side of that where that card's coming from and beat the shit out of that.
Tells you how evil these people are to even
the insult that, and the same thing what happened to them in the villages, because they're going to have a big fundraiser for them in the villages. And there's one piece of garbage. His name is Ma, he came from Jersey, was a liberal, and he turned around and complained about how can you have the treasonous police, Capitol Police murderers at a function. I mean, and that's what we discussed last night. It doesn't stop. People think because the pardon's over. These idiots that are out there, those other 40% or whatever, that are out there that agree with the stuff. I mean, they're out even protesting the cuts that are going overseas for stuff that doesn't pertain to us. I mean, this is what's out there, and they're getting paid. If you get on when Antifa used to come out and everything else, when they used to get busted and stuff and everything else, there was actually getting paid from Soros. If you got on the news, you got $100. If you got into a fight, you got $500. if you went to jail, you got $5,000, and it's all on the sites that they put up to go about the thing. There's a woman down in Miami, all right, that's posting up these things, these rallies against the ICE agents. And it's a young girl. We got all her information and everything else. I sent it to Tom Holman about which ones are organizing them. They're fighting for, and they got to be getting money even from the cartel, because the cartel's losing a lot of money with
Sure, it's probably money from the cartel, sure.
Yeah. Between the child trafficking and the drugs and everything else, you're talking about billions and billions. Just the child trafficking is $150 billion industry.
Yeah.
And it just keeps on, it just keeps on going, and it's not going to stop. The best thing that Trump did was to classify them as a terrorist group, and they could go after them, and they're going to go after them. Trust me, because so many people are dying with that fentanyl poisoning, especially that Aunt Elizabeth that spoke there, she lost her son.
I think I saw something today that they grabbed somebody from the cartel or something, brought him in the United States or something. I think there's something going on. Yeah.
Extradite.
Well, and as I understand, there has been an unusual increase in drone and CIA spy plane activity over northern Mexico,
right?
Ever since President Trump made that announcement. So
even about the tariffs.
Yep.
Yeah, things are going to be happening.
Border crossings are down 95%, right?
Yeah.
That's happening. And then you got these people protesting Doge, like you said, about people lose maybe potential loss of jobs, right? But when Biden shut down the Keystone Pipeline, there was 100,000 people lost their jobs. First responders, all over the jab. No one cared about that.
There's ghosts all over the place. There's people put down. It was done all over. Even the racketeers used to say, put this guy on the payroll, right? And the guy wasn't there to work. This was done for years. And that's what they're doing. If they got, just say, argument's sake, 20% of people that aren't working there, they're ghost, their money's going someplace, there's got to be a trail on it.
No, somebody's cashing those paychecks.
The best thing, the way he did it, Musk, you want to see, you mean to tell me no other companies do that?
They do.
Of course they do that. Yeah, of course they do that. But the problem is that the people believe, these assholes that are out there, the Democrats, that they're fighting for the people. Now, one of them voted for the bill of no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime. Now, one Democrat voted on it, but they're for the people and they're for the union members, which it's all bullshit.
I couldn't see being a union member voting Democrat after that.
Well, do you think the majority of union members voted for?
A lot of them voted for Trump.
No way.
A lot of them voted for Trump.
But the rank and file give money to them because they do get city jobs and state jobs. That doesn't happen. They're all over the city doing non-union jobs, and they still defend, the Democrats. The Democrats are not. Listen, if you don't see that Trump was for the working person, for the working people, you got to be out of your mind. You got to be blind. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. And it goes to and it'll go back again to the colleges and back to the infiltration. And that's why the education department's so important about not indoctrinating these kids. You got to get these kids back. And you haven't heard the word, reading, right? And then you heard the word Trump use, arithmetic. When's the last time you heard that word?
Reading, writing, arithmetic.
Yeah, arithmetic with an R.
Yeah, when did you hear that? Now, arithmetic used to be math, and it goes back to people don't understand. Like when we went to school, we were taught history, and what did they do? They changed it to social studies.
Yeah,
you get the word social, right? Right, studies. When we used to learn science, it came out to be social science. So then they put in all about the man, the way he was created, all that stuff. So they were planning all this stuff for years. I mean, I sent Tracy we put it up once before about the 16-year plan between Hillary and Obama. They've been doing this stuff since the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Yeah, with the Rockefeller, the Rothschild, all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah,
They,
Yeah,
but
about the money and everything else. Yeah,
mhm.
it's gonna be so much. So much is done. It's just unbelievable, and people have to understand. And I tell this to all the people in the chat: try to learn a little history. Again,
Why don't we do a whole hour some Friday one time and just start from the very beginning with like how the Rothschilds even got their name with the Red Shield in Germany back in the 1400s and everything.
what
Because
what about
that would
JP
really
Morgan?
be
Did
good.
get on the what do you call it? The Titanic. He didn't get on that.
Yeah,
shit.
but if
Yeah.
I've gone back all the way back
Interesting.
to where like the 1500s where they
Oh
started
yeah,
that in
well yeah,
Germany with the red and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff, and then it just snowballed all the way through up, and into the city of London and then the Vatican and all that. But I think if people in the chat were interested, I think that would be a good hour sometime to
Yeah.
do.
Well, you got when they did the revolution, okay, there were 13 colonies.
Hmm.
And they got the word to 3% because only 3% of the 13 colonies fought against the British because it was the American way. They were all happy because they were making
Yep.
money with England with tobacco, the tea, and all this other shit that they were selling. So they didn't care. They were businessmen. A lot of businessmen don't care about wars. They don't care. If they're rich, they don't care. And that's what they did. They didn't care.
Yeah, but
Because
they
they were
funded
making
both
stuff.
sides
Right,
too.
right. Yeah. So what happened was the 3% was that's what fought in the Revolutionary War, which a lot of people didn't know what the 3% was, and what about the 13 colonies and stuff. So there's a lot of history that the first shot that was heard around the world when they shot that Patriot was done. It goes back as far as before 1776 or before that.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you got the
Yeah.
East India Trade Company and all that other kind of stuff, but because they tied the slavery right into all that too, because most people don't realize it was blacks selling their own blacks and slavery.
Yep.
It was the tribes.
One
It
of the
wasn't
biggest slave owners in the South was black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go back to that, people in the chat are saying we should do that one time. Do an hour where we start.
I'm all for it. Hey,
Yeah.
Trixie,
How
if
about
I
you, Sean?
could, I know we're getting toward the top of the hour, and so I got one quick prayer request for one of our patriots in chat, one of our favorites actually, FL4 Trump. His sister is in hospice, 62 years old. Her name's Mia. So if we could just pray for her comfort.
Yep.
I
put it out to my
know
bike.
Greg would appreciate it, and we all got to stick together for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that and Pat Carr too. Her daughter-in-law is not well either. So, but yeah, Florida for Trump. I know about Mia.
We should tell everybody in the chat. We could do, offer prayers. I mean, God hears. There's a lot of things, and especially what Mia's going through to make her be in the arms of the Lord as easy as possible, and not to suffer as much as what she's going through right now. And it's not only the pain that she's going through, but the pain that the family's going through to watch going through this and stuff like that. So it's important that we do offer prayers and stuff like that, not only for Mia, but for the family of Mia. NFL, Florida.
Yep.
So
Amen.
Amen, George.
Amen.
Okay, so after that sad note.
Hey, look? Let me say something real happy. I'll try to make it quick. I heard somebody whose nephew was an injured veteran, got injured in the war in Iraq, but is working for the federal government now. He got the Elon Musk's email asking for 5 things he did. He spent 40 minutes. He wrote 2 pages explaining what he had done. And then he also came up with 6 points of, hey, here's things that you could improve and make this place more efficient. And 2 days later, he got called into his boss's office. He's sure he's going to get fired, but his boss's boss was there. And they gave him his boss's job, gave him a major raise, and said, we want you to go after those 6 points that you told us. So
Cool.
Good stuff. That's a nice, happy note to go out on, I think.
Okay, so everybody's in agreement about doing a conspiracy, do like a conspiracy banking thing, or like the history, do 1 hour. For chat
Yeah,
really
we don't have to do the whole hour. We'll do a point we'll do like say.
I'm gonna
a
keep
certain amount-
talking, George. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna stop. You get me on that subject, I won't shut up.
Well, do it and see how long it goes. That's all. I'm not
It's
as well
about
versed
time,
on it
Tracy.
as
Tracy.
you would be, but I think it's interesting. So yeah, I'm for it, but I may not have a lot to put in. So my talking time will go
That's
to you,
good
Chris.
content.
Well,
Yeah.
we just do we could do blocks. Maybe we'll do a block each Friday, and
half
those
hour.
that can- yeah,
That's a great idea.
But there's a lot of people that don't know some of the stuff that we know about that goes back to that all ties into today, actually, with Doge and everything too,
Yeah,
because
well,
that grift started long ago,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Okay,
you bring
so-
something up, and the conversation may go a little bit into something else. So it's hard to say
Yeah.
a block or so. It may go for an hour. But
Well,
no
we'll
problem.
try. Let's try a little bit. Let's try doing that a little bit. Maybe every Friday we'll just keep
Yeah,
going
cool.
with.
I'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Trixie's history segment. I love it.
Well,
Yeah,
not,
that's it.
it's history, but some of it they said was conspiracy, and it's not. It's truth, But I've been doing this since 1993, so I know quite a bit of stuff.
Wow, you're that old, huh? Wow.
Oh, I'm a lot older than
No,
that.
no.
I'm a lot older than that.
All right.
Well, what we got? We got Monday is what? Tony and Chris will be here Monday. We do our Thursday and Friday.
Yep. So we're seeing the chat.
Where's our VJ?
All right. Are you ready for the YMCA?
Yeah.
Give it up. There it goes.
I will. Come on, George. You got
Mark, show Trump.
I'll do the golf. Hey, Mark, the last time I used golf clubs was over somebody's head, so that's why I don't think
Looks like you're on the treadmill, George.
I got to send you a fair wedge, George.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
See you Monday.
God bless everybody.
God bless y'all, and God
And
bless
keep
America.
me on your prayers, everybody. Keep me on your prayers.
Yes.
Yeah.